clearly there is still time to go in the transfer window. And so there is always, until it closes, the chance that Harry Kane could leave Tottenham. But it is really good to see today that Tottenham Hotspur have rejected Bayern Munich's latest and final offer. Their deadline passed. Daniel Levy decided to go off on holiday to the States. And so that kind of would have already indicated that there's probably not any meaningful negotiations taking place around this issue. I personally, and a lot of people have called it out, that the club could kill this stone dead. Harry Kane could kill this stone dead by just coming out and saying, listen, I'm signing a new contract, or I'm not going to Bayern Munich. Or the club could say, he's staying for another season. He's got a contract, he's staying for another season. But I guess that's just not how business works. Certainly it's not how football works. And Tottenham are not great in terms of communication. Not about proper footballing matters. They're great at telling us, you know, that we can get a discount on a Tottenham themed mattress, or a new tracksuit top, or the latest kit, or whatever that is. They won't shut up about stuff like that. They won't shut up about, you know, tickets being available and all the rest of it. But they will keep us very much in the dark around what's happening in terms of the footballing side of things. Bearing in mind you've got Van der Ven at the ground yesterday, and you've got this other Argentinian guy, I can't say the name, flying in and talking about his friendship with Lo Celso and that kind of stuff, and we don't, and, you know, and it's like an open secret, I guess, that these guys are signing. But the club don't tell us anything until the last minute, and I get that, and I guess it's partly because of the fact that so many people were on social media second guessing what's going on and leaking stories and all the rest of it. And I suppose it must be quite frustrating from the club's point of view. But going back to the Harry Kane situation, I've obviously done a video on this. I really don't want him to leave, and like I said when I was a guest on Chris Cowling's show, I don't think he'll leave. I think he's more professional than that. I think if he's going to go, it'll go because the club want to sell him at the right price, and he wants to do the right thing for the club. I don't think he wants to go. I think he would love to stay at Tottenham and see progression and see an opportunity to get some kind of glory with the club. Because I think that means more than just picking up trophies somewhere else. Because you could go to any country and pick up, if you go to the right kind of clubs, you can pick up trophies. Lots of ex-Tottenham players have done so. So you know there is still time for him to do that, and I think probably there's time for Harry to make a decision. He doesn't need to make a decision until the end of next season, or this season rather. So you don't need to make a decision. If he's happy how things are going, then he might sign a new deal. If he's unhappy, he might say, no, sod it. At the end of the day, in any job, you've got to be happy where you are, and you've got to feel that you're going in the right direction and you're doing the right things. I don't think he necessarily has to say, I need this player signed or that player signed or that kind of thing. But I'm sure he knows as well as we do where we're struggling for, stability. So he will know that it's important that we signed an attacking midfielder. So we brought in James Maddison, and he will know that we need some kind of centre-back replacements. As much as he may well be friends with Eric Dyer or Davison Sanchez or whoever, Ben Davies, whoever it might be, he'll be professional enough to know that there will be a need there. Now, whether we can get the right players in, I mean, everyone's going mad about this Van der Ven guy, and that may well be the right thing. I don't know. I don't know enough about the player to be able to call it out. Some people play FIFA, some people do watch other leagues and international football and all the rest of it, and they have better insight than I do. I just know that there is a position there that we need support in, and we need development in. And if they're bringing in a player into that position, my hope is that they're the right sort of player that's going to play in the way that the new manager wants them to play. So if he comes in and he's the answer to it, great. I mean, this other guy that's come from Blackburn, Ashley Phillips, 18-year-old lad, is he one for the future? Is he going to be another Jed Spence? I don't know. You know, we're talking about Jed Spence being on the transfer list. So clearly they've not been that impressed with him to send him out on loan. He didn't do what they wanted him to do, and they think maybe he's not the answer. That's a bit of a shame, because everyone was shouting out about, let's get him in, he's going to be great. Well, you know, I guess the longer term we'll see whether the club's making the right decision in that basis. But the same people calling for Jed Spence to stay are the same people that probably called out that we had to get Porro over the line regardless of the cost or whatever. So it's just difficult to know. It's just difficult to know whether, you know, because all of these guys are professional footballers. They've done more than most of us will ever do. You know, they've achieved more than most of us have ever achieved. You know, being able to play for their respective countries, being able to play for big clubs, being able to play in the Premier League. You know, it's a dream come true for a lot of people. So they can't be crap. They might not be what you want in your team, but they can't be crap. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what's going on. I mean, great to see the team yesterday play and to rack up a big score. Harry Kane once again banging 4 out of 5, and Dane Scarlett getting one as well. And again, I mean, that's another point around Dane Scarlett. He's only a young kid, and we're bringing in these young guys from abroad, and we're saying, you know, they need to be in the team straight away. They're sort of 19, 20, 21, you know, that kind of age. But Dane Scarlett's in that age bracket. So why do we consider that players that come through the academy should go out on loan and learn their trade when we're bringing in players of a similar age from other countries and expecting them to make our squad better straight away? It does confuse me slightly, because they're all similar, and I just find it quite strange that we do that. But listen, it is what it is. He's competing against Harry Kane for a top position there, and if Harry's staying, then that's just great news for us, you know, for another season, if that is to remain the way it is currently. And I'll be really happy that situation does remain, you know. So we'll see where we go from there. So it seems positive. It seems positive at the moment. The offer for Kane has been rejected. Van der Ven is looking like he's signing today, maybe. He was there yesterday. You got the young striker coming from Argentina. We've just had Ashley Phillips come in. Potentially there's a few others on the list that keep getting mentioned. But I guess the biggest thing we need to see is the movement of the players that we consider not required in the longer term for the season. There's a lot of players in there we probably need to move on, and I'm not talking about all of them, but certainly there are some key ones in there that we need to have a clear understanding about what their future might be. But bearing in mind we're bringing in a lot of young people, I'd be surprised if you got rid of all of the senior pros, the ones that everyone's calling out for. Get rid of Dyer, get rid of Davis, these kind of guys. I'd be surprised if they go, you know, because I think the manager will want that level of maturity within the squad, not necessarily in the team every week, but in the squad. So, you know, I know lots of people are calling out for these guys to be moved on, but you may have to wait and see whether they get moved on or whether they stay for another season to help bed the new players in. We'll see, but it does feel like interesting times at the moment. So we keep the faith, we keep on moving, and we keep on supporting. It's nearly over on us. Up the Spurs.